Donald Jeffries. Author of Hidden History and Survival of the Richest. Host of The Donald Jeffries Show. Billy Ray Valentine. Host of the Infinite Fringe podcast. Researcher, truth seeker from the Bronx, New York. Tony Arterburn. Radio host, combat veteran, precious metals analyst, and alt historian. Together, they take on the headlines of the week, decode the disinformation, and plow through the mainstream propaganda. Unauthorized, unscripted, and unintimidated. This is America Unplugged.
What's up? Good afternoon from New York City. Hope everybody's doing well. It is the War on Reality report. And guess what, man? You know, maybe I want to take the green pill at this point, right? The green pill is the one that keeps you in the matrix, right? And it's all good, right? The red pill is the one that wakes you up, Tony. I forget, right?
It's red and blue.
I want to take the blue pill. Give me the blue pill so I could just stay out of this shit.
I think that's a suppository, though. I don't think it's oral.
Damn. Well, that changes things.
I'm going to take, if it's okay with you, I'll take the Greenland pill. Can I take the Greenland one?
Well, I think they're going to give the Greenland one to.
I want the green light for Greenland.
My God. Hey, you know, what shit? 2026 just took off with a bang. And that's no pun intended. I didn't even mean to, what happened in Minnesota to say that that's not what I was trying to get at. But good Lord, it's not a real good deal. Or what's been going on lately. I mean, it's been bad for a long time now, but it's just escalating and escalating and escalating. At this point, when is it going to end? Where is it going to stop? I am not optimistic for this. Tony Arterburn, the wisest of all the wolves and the largest of all the wolves. What's going on? But
I don't know where to go. Hopefully, it is my diet. Am I not as disciplined as I should? I don't want to be the largest of all the wolves. I'm just getting ready I want to get a Greenland passport. Is that possible?
I'm sure it's supposed to become a part of the United States. You may not need a passport.
Oh, okay. Well, just freely move back and forth.
Right. Elon Musk, interestingly enough, and maybe even Peter Thiel, are looking to build freedom cities on Greenland. Yes, they are. Okay. Verifiable. And this is why they want the land in part or whatever. It's a whole thing. Don Jeffries, the legendary. What's up?
Yeah, certainly strange times. I think we're seeing this dark turn of Trumpenstein is now going full, I don't know what you'd call it, full authoritarian, full tyrant. But it's amazing. I mean, it's a lot of disturbing elements here. But as I pointed out, Trump's personality makes it seem like this is really, it's not that much of an aberration for our foreign policy. My latest Substack, I call it Gangsters of Manifest Destiny, where I talk about the history of this, and we've done the exact same thing before. Under Reagan in the 80s, we abducted Ferdinand Marcos and his wife both, and just took them out of the country because we didn't like the results of an election that he won with international observers, including Jimmy Carter. We wanted Cory Aquino in power, so we said, no, you got to go. And he died before he could come to trial. But we've done this before. They abducted Noriega and killed how many civilians in Panama under Bush, and he spent 30 years in prison for trusting the U.S. government. For whatever reason, they didn't like him anymore. And obviously, it was Saddam Hussein. Saw what happened there. He was our boy, and then suddenly they decided to turn him into a bad guy, like the WWE. There's a lot of wrestling parallels here. You're a good guy, and then you're a bad guy, like in wrestling. Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, these were all good guys, and they turned into bad guys, the ultimate boogeyman, and they all died. So Maduro. This is a long tradition here. It's just because of Trump, his personality makes it seem more ridiculous because he's so such a blowhard about it and bragging about it and saying yes we can do it, and it's just so over the top and saying we own the oil, which, as I understand, their claim of owning the oil is because I guess they paid for the equipment there to excavate it or something. I think there's a rationale, but they literally claim they have a province over the oil there, which is absolutely ridiculous. So that's one thing, obviously. And the other thing with the ICE shooting, again, it just shows how much Trump has failed, because his main issue was immigration. We know there are millions of illegals. We don't know how many millions are here, from 10 to 50. I don't know, but we know there are millions. So it ought to be kind of easy to isolate and find them, but they don't seem to be finding anything. They keep going after American citizens. In this case, this is a white woman that was born and lived here all her life, and they just shot her and killed her in their head. And lots of people are defending it. I don't understand it. First of all, they need to ask why were you focusing on her anyhow? What made you think she might be something under your jurisdiction? But that's the problem with ICE now. They're acting like real cops, militarized cops, and it's not. They're I don't know what their mission is, and we also, some people sent me saying that, again, I hate to keep bringing Israel into everything, but we apparently, a lot of these ICE agents were trained and even come from Israel, some of the new ones. So you saw that in the George Floyd case, where they learned that ridiculous knee to the back thing that was taught to them in Israel, because they're trained in Israel. Why are they trained in Israel? And why do we need ICE agents from Israel? Is this the result you get? They're practiced at that because they shoot a lot of Palestinians in the head. So it's very dark times, and I don't know how anybody can still support him, but there are still people supporting him. I've seen it. I saw our ridiculous Tim Pool, analyzing the video and saying, well, you look at it from this angle and he was justified. No, he wasn't justified. It's the exact same thing as Ashley Babbitt, where you shot an unarmed person, killed her. Very similar to that. And it depends on what side you are. The right understands that was wrong, but a lot of them don't understand this was wrong. So I don't know what the answer is, because, the left is no answer, just like the right was no answer to it. But this is horrible. And, again, I'm turning closer and closer to an anarchist, because you can't give power. When you give power to even somebody like Trump, the people that love him and think he's going to accomplish great stuff, well, you've given him too much power, and you see what he's doing. Where these ICE agents are not. I think they're still actually deporting fewer people than Biden. I don't know, maybe that's changed, but there certainly aren't mass deportations going on. But they're attacking. We saw they're going into apartment buildings where nothing but American citizens are there. In this case, some woman's driving around in daylight, and man, maybe she flipped him off or said something to him. You get the shooter in the head? I don't understand. I've heard some people on the right saying, well, I guess she had a wife or something that was filming it. So is this okay? Well, right to shoot her in the head. So this is dark days, but there should be lots more people talking about that. I don't see anybody. Okay, there's
and this is the type of mentality.
One of them. He's using your car as a weapon. Okay, well, if that's the case, then shoot the tires. Why shoot her in the head? And that's, I think it was a little overkill. Piper Fogel says, did you see the video? I saw enough of it, but I don't think there's any rationale for that. And this is my problem I have with all cops, where they used to, a long time ago, shoot to not kill. At some point, maybe it was the Israeli training, they tell you to shoot in the head, try to kill. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. So if this, it's debatable whether, and I don't know what she was trying. It looked to me like she was trying to flee. No, but you can't shoot somebody in the head. If that's the case, shoot her tires out. Shoot her tires so she has a blowout or something. Just like you shoot a guy in the leg and when they're running away, not in the head. But regular cops do that all the time.
Harp 666 in the chat. What's going on? Tim Seshpool. I love it. I love that. I'm stealing that, Harps. You still don't live in Australia, but I'm stealing that, brother. Thank you. What's up to everybody in the chat? How are you? We're gonna play the footage of. So if you don't want to see that, totally understand. I'm giving you a heads up. Right before we play it, I'll give you a heads up and let you know that we're gonna play it. But it's interesting to look at the footage and see what actually went down. Nobody should be defending this in any sort of way. They are attacking us now. Okay. It's an American citizen that died here. All right. This isn't even, my stance with immigration. Some of you guys, are very extreme with it, but they shouldn't do any of this to anyone, to human beings. But if we're going to divide it up, they said they were going after illegal immigrants. This is an American citizen. And we warned about this day one. of the Trump administration, the new regime, the 2024. We warned about this the first day that this would happen. Said they're going after American citizens and people are going to die. Go back into the archives. Now we're here. Unfortunately, so we're gonna go over the footage. We're gonna talk about Trump's reaction to it. We want to talk about Greenland also because apparently that's a thing again, and we spoke about that way back, and we said it would come up again. We said it wasn't gone. It wasn't gone. It's gonna come up again. It's gonna come up again, and here it is. I hope that the big orange buffoon isn't serious. Okay, about marching in there. But given what's gone down, we have to raise our awareness a little more now and say, well, it's very possible that this guy might actually do it. And Don is absolutely right about the history of American foreign policy and what they've done throughout the world, and then removing so-called dictators and American puppets that they've flipped from good to bad at the drop of a dime. The difference here is not so well. There is a difference with Venezuela. They're more bold-faced about it. You know, it's they're not trying to come up with a lie. At least, before they would lie to us about it. This guy's like, yeah, I'm going in there. We're taking the oil, and Venezuela belongs to us. We are running it, and that is the bottom line. Like it or love it. Boom, done. But to take it a step further with the Trump regime, they are actively putting on notice and being hostile towards NATO allies. I haven't seen that in my lifetime. Tony is more of a historian here. If that has happened in our lifetime, let me know. But I haven't seen that type of outward aggression toward NATO, and that's what's scary about it. If World War III is gonna pop off, it's not gonna happen because of Venezuela. It'll happen because of Greenland. If in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think that's very dangerous, rolling up into that territory and claiming it for us. Plus, it's unnecessary from what I understand. There's already like 19 bases, American bases on there that we can activate at any time. So I don't understand. I mean, this is what is going around in the mainstream.
Well, I just want to say, excuse me, there a lot of good comments in the chat, and some people are saying that she was there protesting. I'm sure she was being annoying, like a lot of these people are. But look how many times we see other leftists sit down and block traffic and say, "Hold." I've never seen any of them shot in the head. Has we ever done that before? I mean,
there's no
based on this, they should be, because what Jackson or somebody said she didn't obey orders to get out of the car. Again, why was she ordered to get out of the car? And you can't shoot somebody in the head because they don't obey your orders. That's the problem with the police mentality, this militarized mentality, and it's why the right is crazy to put your faith in these people, because they're not on your side, and you can see what happens. They'll turn it on you.
And also, they keep mentioning Ashley Babbitt. Very different situation with Ashley Babbitt. Okay, they're like, Ashley Babbitt didn't have a car. Listen, you know what? I'll get into Ashley Babbitt on my show. Very different situation. What happened with Ashley Babbitt and what happened with this one lady here. That's all I'm going to say. So I mean, you could keep making the comparisons, but there is no comparison here. Let's play the footage. Let's just do it. Let's just dive into it. And everybody can make up their own minds, I guess, although you can invert reality if you want to. You can go ahead and do that. I can't stop you from doing that, but it is what it is here. Nobody should be, like Don said, if you still support Trump at this point, there's something wrong with you. Straight up and simple. Like, listen, in 2016, I can understand. I wouldn't vote for him in 2016, but I understood the appeal. I was like, okay, I get it. 2020, I start questioning you. I'm like, well, why would you do that? But whatever. 2024, you did it. I'm like, all right, man, something's up. And now, at this point, protecting pedophiles, starting new wars, the Gestapo unleashed on the American public, and you still support them. Something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. I don't know what that is, but there's something wrong. Just saying. All right, let's go here. Let's play this. All right, get ready, guys. I'm gonna play this footage. If you don't want to see it, I totally understand. Tune out for about 2 minutes. I think that's about what it is. I'm going to play it right now. Let's see what's up. Don, you've never seen this before, right?
No, I haven't had really an interest in watching it. No.
All right, cool. Do you want to watch it? If you don't want to watch it, we
I'm
don't
not. I just because no one what the video shows is not going to change my opinion that you don't shoot an unarmed
of course
anyone in the head. It's ridiculous.
I'm just if you know, like I'm still shell shocked over Charlie Kirk. I didn't want to see that. You know, thinking about looking at a murder like that. I don't want to see that. You know, so that's what I was getting at. All right, I'm gonna play it right now.
That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
So he called her a fucking bitch at the end of it too, after he shot her. You can clearly see cars going completely around her, which debunks the she was getting in the way, using it as a barricade. And there's other footage that we can dig up. Also, you see the guy's side profile. He was on the side of the car. Shot her 3 times and called her a fucking bitch. She straight up told him, "Listen, I'm not angry at you. I'm not mad at you. Looks like murder to me." And then he said, "You fucking bitch." He got upset, in my opinion, that 2 lesbians were talking shit to him. That's what it looked like to me.
You know, when people talking about
what's up,
that she was cussing, and I'm sure. Look, at least a lot of these protesters are completely annoying. I understand it, but again, you have freedom of speech.
Right.
And you can't just shoot somebody because of that. And why was he? I could understand from that video. He was ordering her to get out of his car. I don't really know. He didn't really give her a reason why. And as Jackson D. Barrett has reminded us, you get out of the car or you die. I don't hope it's not that bad, but and Jackson, he says she was blocking the streets. Well, as Billy Frey said, she was going around, and protesters block the streets all the time. How many times have you seen people get pissed off in traffic when there's a bunch of them laying in the road and being annoying as hell? It's usually for some stupid woke cause, but you can't stick them in the head. Why is this? I don't understand why people are defending this. It's ridiculous. I mean, it should be. And this guy apparently had a record of being aggressive in other cases too. It's
right. I agree with you, Don. This is no. What if we're gonna start shooting people for cursing? Jeannie Poole was like, "Oh, he was cursing him out. Yeah, well, so let's shoot him." Yeah, like you know, somebody was cursing at me the other day on the street, so I just blew his brains out. Yeah, it's fully justified. This isn't good for us as a people. I mean, this is. I was telling Tony about a situation I had this morning, and this kind of applies. It's the sheltering and the coddling of people that people haven't been exposed to the real world. And they make these decisions because they're really not affected by it. So they look at this and they're like, well, X, Y, and Z, you know, they deserved it. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand how we're to this point. I'm starting to believe that Trump was absolutely correct, literally, when he said I could shoot somebody in Times Square and people will be cool with it. You know, or I could shoot somebody on the White House lawn and people will be cool with it. Somebody will say something. Well, he cursed at Trump, so Trump had every right to shoot him in the head. You saw the footage. Anybody that's halfway rational saw that footage and it's like, okay, something's wrong here. Tony, what's up?
Well, I would say that both the driver, the lady, and the cop who shot her have distorted views of reality. They both do. It's an insane thing to digest, really, if you look at it from the perspective of rules of engagement and things that I've been through. There's no way I would have been defended had I opened fire for any of the many people driving vehicles in Iraq or Afghanistan that use them aggressively towards me. I'd have a pretty high body count, and I would have never been defended. And for anybody to defend this shooting, I mean, using deadly force in that way to a middle-aged woman who's not armed, clearly didn't take a shot at you, and it just has a distorted view of reality. I mean, both of them are coddled, I think, in some way. But I would believe this is the left's Ashley Babbitt. It's what it looks like to me. I mean, I don't know how you can defend it. It's a bad shoot. It's a bad shoot, and it's a misuse of force.
Do we have a video, Billy Ray,
where we get any real criminals?
What's up, Don?
Do we have the video? Because a lot of people are saying there's more video where it appears to show her, hitting him with the car or trying to hit him with the car. No. Do we have anything like that?
I mean, again, it doesn't. Any of that.
Send me something.
Just
she's trying to hit him with the car. She wasn't trying to hit him with the car. She was trying to get away, and that's where she fucked up. Right? She should have just stayed. Yeah. Right? But she was trying to get away. She wasn't trying to hit him with. She just told him, I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm good. With her window down. What type of aggression is that? There is no aggression there. She got scared. They were like, "Yo, open the fucking door," and they went there to yank it out, pull it out. Pull her out of the car. So she's like, let me drive away.
Yeah.
And this is what happened as a result of it.
Yeah.
But she wasn't trying to fucking kill him. Stop it. Stop. And no footage. I've seen so much footage of this. It's sickening at this point. No footage shows that she was trying to kill him. None. All right. If you want me to play your footage, put it in the chat. I'll play it. All right. I can look for it now, but I don't know. So if you have it, if you guys have it ready, put it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to play it. Tony, finish your point, bro.
Twisted Pistol in the chat. I think he's talking about me. I said I'd have one. I'd have a high body count if every vehicle that ever was aggressive with me, a person in a vehicle between the 3 wars that I was in, if I opened fire on them, I mean, it'd just be. I don't understand it. Obviously, there are situations where, especially if you're in a high stakes warrant serving, or if you're, in the middle of a firefight or something like that, a vehicle can be used as a weapon, but you got to have that discernment. And you're talking about an unarmed woman. You just got to get out of the way. That's more like an execution. But I don't know. All we have is the perspective of this video.
No, there's tons of perspectives out there. This is the newest perspective that just got released.
Well, I'm saying I have not seen one, though, that showed the vehicle heading towards him,
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Way.
He was trying to drive away, and he was in front of the car. He moved to the side.
And again, this is standard operating procedure for our militarist police. It's just that this is ICE, so it has an extra emotional content. All the leftists are out there protesting ICE. And they're going to act just like regular cops do. You remember during Obama's administration, remember there was a young black woman, very similar to this, where I don't know what she was doing with her car, but it was parked in front of the White House, and she wasn't listening to what the officer said. She was panicked, and I think she was lost and didn't know which way to go. And the officer tried to cover her. In front of her, little kid was in the back, and they gave him a special commendation in Congress. They cheered him. So this happens all the time. It's just ICE is now in the news more than ever. I don't know if ICE was doing this before. Maybe they were. I don't know. But now it's because this is a hot button issue, and you have the left out there protesting what they're doing, and they're going to be ridiculous. Like, they're going to lay down. They're going to cuss them out. They're going to flip them off. They may spit in their face or whatever, but you can't use excessive force. That's excessive force. Justice says she is armed. We have to show us. Even if you say that she was armed with a car and she was attempting to do something, I say that you don't shoot for her head. You shoot a tire if you want to disable the car. Why are you shooting her in the head? That's just ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. There needs to be standards for law enforcement. You can't just hire anyone to do this job, and that's what ICE has done. You want to talk about DEI? Everybody has something to say about DEI. ICE is the ultimate DEI organization, literally lowering standards to bring people in. No high school diploma required. You get $50,000 signing bonuses. Training these people on the spot. Apparently, this guy was with ICE for 10 years. Imagine that. But they've been literally lowering standards to get people in there. This is DEI. If you want to argue that, give me the same energy. All the DEI people. Give me the same energy with ICE. I want that, because if there's an example of DEI that's legit, this is it. And this is what we get when we have DEI cops. It's not a good deal. So this profession, which should be respected by the public, but the people that become police officers or any officers of the law should respect the public in turn. And they should follow the law, and they should operate at a high moral level.
It should.
What's up? What's up?
But no, I keep thinking, right, but this is indicative of the larger problem. I'm very critical of the police. He acted like too many police act on even routine traffic stops. They bark orders. They get really pissed off when they aren't obeyed. Right. Too many people, they get killed. And yes, she was, I wouldn't, especially if the officer started acting aggressive. Yeah, she was pretty dumb to not recognize how out of control this guy was and just listen. She apparently attempted to flee. I guess she didn't think she would get shot, but yeah, I wouldn't mess with these people, with these roided out cops with a badge. That's the problem. But you have half of the country, at least, that defends the police no matter what. And they're going to defend them here. And the other half doesn't, but then they make it a racial thing, which they really can't do here. And that's why, I'm glad there's no racial element here, because it's just, you just take all that out and this is just wrong. But, too many people, it's a bigger problem. Why are, as you said, whether it's DEI cops or whatever, why are they being trained like this? Why are they being told to shoot with deadly force? And we've seen it. And remember the black guy was fleeing from them because he had a busted out tail light? Yeah. And he ran in panic and they killed him. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. I mean, should you die if you have a busted tail light? Should you die if you're sassing a cop or whatever? And we can't give these guys this much power, and we have. And that's the problem. That's part of the problem, is that the police policing for profit should be defunded. They need to be completely overturned. Their priorities need to be reset, and they need to stop having these militarized attitudes or barking orders. And how many dogs have they shot? How many little kids have they shot? How many SWAT team raids have they gone to the wrong house and killed people? I mean, how many times does this have to happen? So I'm glad it's getting attention, but I don't think it'll look at the big issue, which is this militarized police system we have.
This guy's going to get off. Ain't nothing going to happen to him. J.D. Vance already said that they had full immunity, which is another thing for J.D. Vance to say some out-of-pocket shit like that, some irresponsible shit like that. He's giving all these ICE agents a license to kill. If anyone comes across ICE in any sort of way, don't say shit. Don't piss these people off. If they're engaging with you, you cooperate to the best of your ability. Do not, in any sort of way, insult them or do anything like that. You have to take the attitude that people take out here in New York with the cops. Well, anybody that doesn't want, to put their life in jeopardy. It's all good. Whenever I get stopped by the cops, all good. Yes, sir. I don't have any weapons. My hands are up. I'm good, because I don't know what's going to happen. So you have to take that do not engage. Do not engage.
I mean, does the guy really think it is, in his training and his life experience? He's probably a kid. He's probably, late 20s and early 30s. Or something.
The shooter?
The shooter.
He's in his 30s, bro. Late 30s.
Late 30s. Okay, well, he's been around long enough.
Grown ass man.
But again,
Jeannie knew. Hold on for a second. Jeannie knows. Jeannie, how old is he? Am I getting that wrong? I thought he was 37. Let me know in the chat, because she's
regardless.
Right.
But he's having some discernment about what you're looking at. The lady's stupid, obviously, and she's privileged in some way and probably just been really sheltered her whole life. This is America. And there's always somebody else that's having police brutality or whatever. Now you unleash this new federal agency and it's like, hey, ATF, hold my beer. We're going to do some stuff that you guys haven't done yet. Yeah. And it's really just indicative of where we are as a culture. I mean, they're both wrong. This is a bad shoot. And if you're in this situation where you hold, judicial law enforcement power, the power to enforce law. I mean, Jason Barker's in the chat. Jason, can you imagine us shooting somebody like this in Baghdad or Mosul and getting away with it? Just opening fire in the combat zone, like people were dying. Like we had people getting blown up every fucking day. Jesus, getting blown up. Like just pull up to a stop sign. There's an IED and you're dead, and you can't light people up like this. So, my respect for somebody that would take a life based off their threat of a vehicle, I just don't get. And he will have immunity. It's kind of like, when Don, remember when Nixon commented on the Charles Manson murder, everybody lost their mind because he basically presumed him guilty. Yeah. This is kind of like the opposite of that. We're presuming him innocent from the very highest levels of power. That says something about what they're using this wing and building a federal police force and all the stuff that they're doing. But you don't ever actually see, crime is so bad in these major cities, but we're not doing anything really to real criminals, organized crime, stuff like that. Yeah. Hardcore guys. Those guys just exist and do what they want. And it's just sad. It's sad to watch. It's a bad shoot. There's not, and it's indicative of where we are too. The two polls, and I'm so burnt out on watching MAGA versus the libs or whatever, the left. They're both wrong, but this is a bad shoot. I will say that
it's MAGA versus us, man. It's not only MAGA versus the liberals. It's MAGA versus everyone. Anybody that's not MAGA, they are against. That's what's going on here. And I wouldn't say that this lady, God bless her soul, man, I wouldn't say that she was stupid in any sort of way. She panicked and tried to drive away. She shouldn't have done that. She should have stayed put.
You can pull her over later. She could face charges for that. You got her right. You got her license plate. You know who she is. You get out of the way.
Right.
That's the thing. You can punish her. She should be have been punished for evading and fleeing. If you're stopped or told to stop, there's a violation there.
I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead. Finish up.
There's a violation, but that doesn't. Again, it's the escalation here. I think this is indicative of where we are. There's a lot of mental illness floating around, and just disassociated from reality. You pull the trigger, that person's dead.
Yeah, done. Right.
This isn't a game, and we just raised all these boys on games, and wow, they don't know about it. It's real life.
Incredible point, man. Wow. Yeah. Go ahead. Finish up. Sorry.
But again, I think this is the larger point. This is not an isolated incident. It's not that unusual. It's getting more attention. There's a lot of these things. I had a cousin years ago that was shot. I got a real reason to hate the police. I'm sorry, but I'm not a troublemaker. Somebody said, "Have you ever been?" I do everything I can to avoid the police. One of the reasons I drive a Prius is because I'll never have to worry about getting a speeding ticket because it has no damn pickup. So I don't have to worry. I don't want to encounter them at all, because every time I have an unfortunate experience. I've told the story how I was just taking my trash out, and I had it on top of my hood because I drove it out on the way to work. We all did. It was like 50 yards away. Just simple. This cop came out. He was there to talk to the teenager next door, and he jumped out of his car. He didn't pull his gun on me. Today, he probably would have killed me. This was back in the 90s, but he jumped out and started barking. "Oh, what the hell do you think you're doing?" I said, "What is he talking about?" And I didn't mouth off to him or whatever. He bag on. He was ready to shoot me over a trash bag on the thing. I'm not bothering anybody. I've had these experiences like that before, and they have the ones I run into. Never run into the nice people, but there are so many examples of people that lose their lives because the SWAT teams, when they started authorizing SWAT raids, and you can see these ICE agents all act, when they descend on an apartment or something, they're all acting like SWAT teams. And when we started doing the SWAT team raids, it gave them carte blanche to do all kinds of crazy stuff and violate people's rights, and nobody cares. This is what I don't get. I know you may be defending people that are the scum of the earth. Maybe you're defending people that have lots of drug charges and stuff, but you can't allow them to violate everyone's rights like that. And that's what they're doing here. Nobody, you know how much I feel about illegal immigration. It's ridiculous that he should have been having a mass deportation a long time ago, but not like this. This isn't a mass deportation. This is just carnage unleashed and terror unleashed on the street, where, as far as I can see, have they done anything to an actual illegal immigrant yet? I don't know. They've thrown a couple women down in apartment buildings, which is for the course with cops. They love doing that stuff, just like that. And now we even have a bunch of them from Israel, probably being trained in Israel, just like our regular cops. This is wrong. But the problem is the country is divided. You can see it from the chat. Lots of good people here are convinced that if she should have listened. Well, yeah, theoretically, but why should she have to fear being shot because she didn't listen to some roided out cop barking an order? That's not a death sentence. You shouldn't do that. We need to question why they're allowed to do that. Jason said the worst that could happen, she drove off and maybe they could pull her over. But what would the crime be? Talking back to an officer, cussing, is that a crime? I don't know. But if she really did try to hit the officer with a car, well, they'd have to have video evidence of that. But this is, I don't know, we can't defend the police like that. And I said the same thing, obviously, on January 6th. They're out of control then. And there were lots of wrong stuff then. And they always are. This is par for the course. And I just wish people would understand that, because you can't give, the last thing we should be doing is giving more power to law enforcement at any level, because they have shown over and over again the people they hire cannot be trusted with it.
The man who shot Renee Good, God bless, is a 43-year-old firearms instructor.
Wow.
Who appeared to have defended white supremacists online at some point, according to this article that I'm reading here. 43 years old.
Do we have any other background? There's no way this guy's a combat vet.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. We'll look him up and see what's up. I haven't done a deep dive on him per se. But he was 43 years old. Just
threat assessments, and you get cop brain. I was a military policeman, by the way. I know a little bit about this stuff. I don't have cop mentality. I never did. I wasn't a good cop. I wasn't a good, especially stateside. I just it wasn't my thing. I don't like to write tickets. I like to. I was concerned for people's safety.
I think
I like to be a protector. I would be a good sheriff.
If we had cops like you, we'd probably be in a lot better space.
I'd only target criminals. I don't care about if you have plants or, I don't care about these crimes that we make up. And obviously there needs to be, you have to have law enforcement in some capacity. And for the good of the society, it'll crumble if there's not some sort of organization there in some way that's lawful.
Yeah.
But this is a tilt in the wrong direction. And you can clearly see it. And the pendulum swung. You go from January 6th, it was clearly Ashley Babbitt was just murdered. That's a murder. And we all like to see the footage. It's right there. And then, of course, she's of the right. Now, this is the left. The pendulum swings back and forth. But precedents are being set here. That's the most dangerous thing. The precedents and the culture accepting of this, like just cheering this on. And I'm starting to think that the entire immigration thing has been used just to prime us for some sort of civil conflict. Just priming us over and over. Because it's just the Republicans my entire life have just grifted and grifted. It's GOP is grifters on patrol, just always looking for something to raise money and not do anything about. And they've been raising money on this my whole life, and then making the problem worse. And so here we are with, clearly we have an issue with illegal immigration and other things, but as Don mentioned, the deportations probably nowhere near what Obama's were, probably nowhere near what Biden's were. What is this? I think we're watching something else, folks.
It's an incompetent mess. And not to pat ourselves on the back yet again, but everything Tony said, we said on day one. On day one, we said that everything Tony just laid out. Even before that, we were talking about how they were going to use immigration to get at everything else. But I have Trump derangement syndrome, of course. But not to pat ourselves on the back, but fuck it, let's pat ourselves on the back about it. We were among the first here in the alternative media. The alternative media is still lost to talking nonsense 9 times out of 10.
Unpopular opinion.
What's that, buddy?
These are unpopular opinions, by the way. Like, it's how you know this show is real. We're like, hey, we don't like sponsors. You know, like I don't like downloads or fans. You know,
almost no one talks against the police like I do, unless they're doing it. They're claiming the police are just shooting black men. That's the only way you ever hear it from. Nobody generally criticizes the tactics of the police like I do, because there's lots of victims of all colors of the police. In this case, it was a white woman, you know, being instructed by her lesbian lover. I mean, they have all kinds. They're out there. They're out of control. They're never. We need to have local police oversight committees, which they talked about doing. The black community talked about doing, and they never did it. All these communities, they need to have oversight committees so the citizens control what the police are doing. We don't. And now you have a guy like Trump, even when he had his good rhetoric, Trump was always just infatuated with police. This guy has never seen a cop do anything wrong. So it doesn't matter what they could have shot 20 women and sitting in their cars that day, and he would have said it was fine, because the police can do no wrong. And that's what too many people on the right are like. Now, hopefully it doesn't come back to bite you and somebody you love doesn't get shot like that. But this is just wrong. And if people want this kind of occupying force out there, I've called them the occupation army of the state. That's what they are. They're enforcing states' mostly nonsensical laws. And in this case, I don't know what they're doing. They're certainly not rounding up illegal immigrants doing that stuff. Let's show me where they're rounding anybody up. I can't see. All they're doing is doing stupid stuff. And in this case, shooting a woman in the head that had nothing to do with their jurisdiction.
Man, it's a problem, Don. It's a problem. We have, good Lord, guys. Listen, I understand the pushback against ICE. I think it needs to happen. I know there's brave people out there that are peacefully trying to push back on all of this, and that's great. But please proceed at your own, with caution.
Well, and it seems like we cheapened it. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you think about it, rushing to defend this guy without some sort of hearing or evidence, you just cheapened life. It's no big deal. Like, you violated a protocol, you got shot in the head. You think about that, how cheap that makes things. And for somebody, it may not bother a certain mentality. There's a reason why we be critical of law enforcement. If you have a mentality that you can take somebody's life, it doesn't bother you, you're a sociopath. Like, there's something wrong with you. I know tough men. Matter of fact, I lost one of my friends this week that was my roommate at Bragg. We went through 2 wars together. He was younger than me, and he had to take life. And he was a tough guy. I mean, he was tough as nails. And he had a problem with alcohol, and because he covered it up for so many years. He died. He was 43 years old. He died this last week. I known him for, what is it, 26 years? And he had to take life, and it bothered him, because later on in life, he was a Ron Paul guy, hated the wars, hated the neocons, all that stuff. And it affected him every day of his life. And again, he was tough. He's a paratrooper. This guy's tough as nails and smart. And for people just to lightly brush this off, like, you just took somebody's life. It's no small thing, even when they're trying to kill you. So if something is like as easy to take this lady out because she's pointing her, I wouldn't have done that, by the way, in any capacity. I know myself. I would have jumped over the car I would have got hit by it. I mean, I wouldn't take my weapon out. Now, if somebody comes into my shop and they pull a weapon, I'll kill them. Right. I mean, if I have to, I don't want to. I won't hesitate to use my weapon if I ever have to. And that's not me being tough, guys. I don't ever want to use my weapon. Okay? I don't want to. I'm not a gun guy. I have my guns. I do what I want, but I don't celebrate them. They're just a tool. So I don't get into the culture of that. I just have mine. But to brush this off, that bothers me. on a surface, knowing how much it takes to take a life. I don't think I don't think people have thought this through.
And people that are there are lots of people. There's something in the chat comment, basically inferring maybe this guy won't get justice, or we talked about that. But we never, no average citizen gets justice in horrible courtrooms. But this guy will almost certainly get a better brand of justice than the average citizen does, because they bend over backwards to not convict police. Juries do. And there's no racial element here. The reason the guy was convicted in the George Floyd case is you had riots all over the country, and they made it into a racial issue. They made him into a civil rights cause. So that guy had no chance. But there's no racial element here. And when you take the racial element out, millions and millions of Americans that support the cops no matter what. And they would, I've heard him say, well, you shouldn't have looked at the cop that way or said that. And there's people that think that, and that's just wrong. Why would you want to give them that kind of power? They're armed and dangerous. They're walking around, and you've seen the personalities they have. How many of those cops, the civil rights lawyer and all, there's a bunch of those shows I used to watch, Cops Gone Wild, where they'd show these traffic stops and how they, unravel over nothing. And it's almost always because the citizen is mouthing off and talking about his rights. You don't have the right to do that, which they don't. And they go crazy. And we see videos of them planting drugs in people's cars. And I think most of them still have jobs. I mean, what do people need with videos and body cams? It damns them. It shows what they're doing. Imagine what they're doing when the camera's not on. But so I don't know why anybody would defend them. I'm sure they're good cops. I've known good cops, but the system is horrible. It needs to be reformed. The profit needs to be taken out of it, asset forfeiture, all that stuff. And they need to get back to marching the beat, walking the streets of the neighborhood so they become members of the community and the community knows them, instead of driving around in cars and trying to give people tickets to meet their quota.
All right. Let's do one more thing before we don't have a lot of time, but I want to play the Trump and Greenland clip because I think it's important. I'm going to cover it tomorrow on Guerrilla Underground, and we'll continue to cover the shooting. I'll also give you my thoughts on Ashley Babbitt. I covered Ashley Babbitt before on Guerrilla Underground. Very different situation in my opinion. And maybe I won't even bring it up actually, because all that's going to do is serve to divide people even further. Right. To make the comparison between Ashley Babbitt and what went on here with Miss Good, and I will say this. If you look at the footage of what happened to Ashley Babbitt and what happened to Miss Good, and you don't see the very clear and obvious differences between them, I don't know what to tell you. And there is nothing I can say that's going to change your perspective. So I'm not even going to say it, so I won't even cover it tomorrow, but I will cover the shooting and I'll cover some of Greenland with some of Venezuela. This is really getting out of hand. I mean, it's already fully out of hand. This is craziness. All right, but let's play this and then we're getting out of here. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in today. We appreciate you. We are, let me see, hold on, 153 strong across platforms, and everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, let me play this real quick and get your thoughts on this. We're invading Greenland and Mexico, apparently. Hold on.
Do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay? I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. Right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland. And all
right, yeah. Like it or not, the easy way or the hard way, Mr. Tough Guy, who's never been in any military action, but he's quick to send people to their deaths. Donald Trump, we're taking over Greenland, ladies and gentlemen. that can legit pop off World War III. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope they don't really move into Greenland. They're trying to buy these people off. Greenland is not for sale. And the citizens of Greenland don't want to be American citizens. Do you know why? It's the same reason there's nobody coming through the border. No one wants to come here anymore. And that's not the type of message we want to send around the world. We want people to want to come here, and we want to have an orderly process to let them in here. That's what we want. Not repelling everybody because it's freaking Mad Max scenario here. People are getting shot in the streets by the Gestapo. So people don't want to come. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Ask this 50 years ago. Would Greenland want to be a part of the United States? Probably. I mean, who wouldn't have been? Maybe this is my programming that's kicking in, that I've been programmed to think America is great and everybody loves it that way. You know, but whatever. Tony Arterburn, hopefully we're not going to war, man.
Hope not. Well, how dare you though, Billy? I mean, people do still want to come here. We moved from 50th to 49th in education because kids can use AI to write papers now. Okay. We moved up a notch. We were 50. We're now 49, doing really well on the world stage. I hope the byproduct of this, we're going to do this, by the way.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. This is like, there's a blueprint for this. If you go back, I'm sure Don knows this. If you go to a blueprint, if you read Pat Buchanan's book, A Republic, Not an Empire, it came out in 1999. By the way, when it came out, Trump called Buchanan a Hitler lover for writing the book, which was basically how to protect the hemispheric operations, America first foreign policy, bringing the troops home, all this stuff that Trump's not doing, but we're going to do Greenland too. So Greenland was part of like the peripheral outlying edge. And Buchanan thought that from an America first foreign policy standpoint, that would be good to incorporate. Now, you can agree or disagree. We already have bases there, and we used it during World War II and other things. So it's already established. I don't think Russia or China is really an issue there because we already have bases. We already move in and out of it. I think now it's just about territorial claiming, kind of like we renamed the Gulf of America and all this stuff. I mean, it's more of just an on paper thing. But if the byproduct of this is that this fractures NATO, I'm all for it. Because I mean, NATO is a dangerous organization. It's again one of those supranational bodies that supersedes American security. I mean, think of all the tripwires out there that we supposedly have to go to war. You know, if somebody invades Turkey, you know, we got to go to war, and that's just bizarre. You know, in a post-Cold War era, it's all bizarre. And you know, I'm going to get into this on my show next week. I want to talk about, because a lot of this stuff is we're just hitting the surface level. There's a bigger question mark hanging over all this. Like, who's operating this, and what is the point? I mean, you can look at it through the lens of nationalism, but New World Order, Agenda 2030, Great Reset, that stuff's still in play. What is all this being moved around? What is the purpose of it? And somebody asked in the chat about Venezuela. I think it was Twisted Pistol was asking about if it's going to prop up the petrodollar. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what Venezuela is about. I think there's a whole host of reasons there. I don't know that it's necessarily related to the dollar. So Greenland, I think, will happen. It's a question of how it will go down. And,
let me ask you this real quick, Tone. Do you think that if it does happen, it could spark off World War III?
No, I don't think that taking Greenland sparks off World War III, but I do think it'll show the fractures in what the coalitions that we used to have, let's say from 1989 to now. Like, those are just different factions, and Europe's economy, its population, its demographics are aging. The only country that has a birth rate above replacement levels is Muslim Albania in Europe. So, I mean, these are different countries now than they were at the height of the Cold War or the Reagan era. I think you'll see a fracturing there. But I think when we do stuff like this, like when we do Venezuela or we do Greenland, you know who loves that the most? Putin or Xi Jinping, because they're like, oh, I'll just take Taiwan, or I'll just take Ukraine, or I'll just take the Crimea, or I'll just, again, we're lead by example. So we went from the shining city on the hill to whatever this is.
It's the spheres of influence theory.
Right.
That's what's going on.
We have no basis to tell people to get out of Crimea or anything. We're operating in our periphery with a heavy hand.
And Xi Jinping was saying that he's optimistic in reuniting the entire homeland.
They will, eventually.
That's so.
We agreed to it already.
I agree with you. I think they agreed to it already. Also, we have 3 years. We'll see it happen. Most likely, I hope not. Definitely not Greenland. I hope that doesn't happen. NATO would have to stand down at that point. Let the United States do whatever they're doing, and then it'll be the end of NATO if they stand down, because it's nothing. It'll be nothing. So that would have to happen. I am not so sure that Denmark will just take it lying down, and that's what scares me about it, Tony. I hope you're right. I hope there is no World War III coming out of it, but I'm not so sure that that's the case. Don Jeffries, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, well, this is so far removed from Trump's original campaign. Remember, Trump was criticized as the only politician of our times that called out NATO for what it was, a Cold War relic. We don't need it. And he talked about getting out of it. He said so many great things when he first started running. He really did. And this is so far removed from it. Now he's wanting to take over other countries and citing NATO as a reason why. I want to know, he said, so Russia or China does do it. Do we have any statements on the record for Putin or the leader of China that they have any interest in taking over Greenland? No. Provide evidence for that. I mean, why people suddenly want to take over Greenland? It's so stupid. And it's so, if you remember, he never mentioned any of this until after he was elected the second time. Yeah, then he started this crazy talk about Greenland and the Gulf of America and the Panama Canal, which he hasn't. I guess maybe he'll go back to that. I don't know. But this is the antithesis of what he ran on. He ran on kind of an isolationist bent, which is a good thing. Taking care of America first. This is, and you have some people saying this. How is this part of America first? How is it in our interest? Why do we need Greenland? That makes no sense. And why should we do it? We criticize other countries for, many millions here are criticizing Russia for going into Ukraine, and they have an argument there because NATO has missiles there on its border, just as we had with Cuba. You could make a much better argument. What is our argument? Why we need to go to Greenland? Why do we need to take back the Panama Canal? Why? It's just the whole. This is, and not to mention Venezuela. Why do we own Venezuela? He's going the wrong way in all directions. He's lost all credibility. Whatever MAGA movement is left is not America first at all. They have to just prop up that he's right. And as we're seeing, people try to justify the ICE agent shooting him and stuff. They're trying to justify what Trump's doing. And then you throw in the absurd accoutrements of this nonsensical gold that he has everywhere in the White House. Again, this is, it seems so scripted. Like I say, try to be like Caligula. Let's make everything gold in the White House. So why? What is, other than to try to make yourself look as ridiculous as possible? But that's what he's doing in the ballroom. This is apparently bigger than the rest of the White House. This is an accomplishment. This is winning. It's so disappointing. And to think that we start from you mentioned Ashley Babbitt. One thing I found out that apparently somebody was talking about the guy that shot Ashley Babbitt, Bird, I think his name was, that he supposedly along the Somali lines got some kind of ridiculous, I think millions of dollars over the years in running some kind of, shell business, which apparently is a standard out there. So there's so much corruption, and Trump was supposed to at least try to clean it up. That's what he talked about. And now he's become the most corrupt of all. And it's just sad to see, because this has killed any independent political movement after this, because the fact you still have people supporting him. And I understand why, kind of, because the other side is horrible. But, you can't support any of this stuff. And this you need a real America First movement. You need somebody to look out there and say, we haven't touched the infrastructure in 60 years. Let's do something about the streets and the power grids and all that stuff. So we're not the shithole country, which we are. Let's do something about that. I'm still waiting for my $5,000 Doge check too.
Me too.
And I don't think I'm going to see it. I don't think so. And abolishing the IRS and not pay any more taxes.
Don't forget about your tariff check.
I want that one too.
Yes, supposed to go.
Right. I want my tariff check. I want my Doge check. I want my additional Doge check. And he promised some other thing. I want that too. I think it's about $12,000. Every time he raises the number of countries he had he declared peace with, that I'm just going to raise the money that they owe me. That's what we're going to do. So he's at 10 countries that he brought peace to, 10 wars. So I want $12,000. Please, I'm waiting for it. Thank you very much. I'll be very happy for that. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to dial back any of my criticisms towards the regime. I would just like the money that I'm promised. Thank you so much. Let's get up out of here, ladies and gents. Please, please, please. It is very important to stay vigilant. And there's an open warrant on, an open-ended assignment for ICE to just straight up kill people, and it's all good. There's going to be full immunity here. This is JD Vance saying it, not me, right? And I hope he was just talking shit out of his ass. But a lot of it is shit out of his ass, but some of it actually becomes something because he's the vice president of the United States. Just be very careful out there. Shit is real outside here in the United States at this point. I don't know. Well, let's hope it gets better, Tony. I'm hopeful. Next week we're gonna have some good shit happen, Tone. Good shit's gonna happen next week, and we're gonna talk about it here on America Unplugged.
I'll put my Erica Kirk leather morning pants back in the closet. Then, if you're gonna,
no, we need that. We're gonna put you're gonna put leather pants on.
If I'm in mourning for my country, I've got to have those.
All the ladies want to see it. All the ladies in the chat want to see Tony Arterburn in his leather chaps. You understand? So go ahead and do it. I don't wear. That's not my style. I don't wear stuff like that. I wear some sweatpants. We'll do only Unplugged instead of OnlyFans. We'll do only Unplugged.
Unplugged. AU. Yeah.
Anybody that's interested in me, Tony, and Don, dressing up in a particular ways. Only for the ladies though. That's all we're doing. Jackson Barrett, please don't sign up. We're not going to honor it, okay? Just telling you ahead of time. Tony Arterburn, the wisest of all the wolves. Tell the people what's up.
You can go to my website, tony.gold. It'll go to arterburn.gold. And you can check out all of my shows. I got new stuff coming out soon. Paratruther, be sure and subscribe to the podcast. What you laughing at?
All right, Jason.
Oh, what do we got?
He needs pictures of you in the chat.
Okay. It's not chaps. I'm just going to wear my You got to have leather pants now. If you're in mourning, you have to have your leather pants.
There's no walking this back, Tone.
Okay.
It's chaps. It's what you said you were going to do. So it is what it is. All right, finish up. Tell them what's up, Tony, and then we'll go to
Tony.gold, my website. You can find me there, and I'll be back next week. Be sure and subscribe to the America Unplugged podcast channel because Don's shows go up there as well. If you can give us a review, that'd be great. A lot of people have been mad at Billy, so we got our reviews. They've been mad at Billy for things that he was right about, and for the most part, for the most part. And we're not right. None of us are right on everything all the time.
It's a high percentage, Tony. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna get things wrong.
Pretty good. It's a pretty good ratio to being wrong. And the spirit of it is right.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen, the show is for people to be exposed to different ideas. Everybody has a different idea. You can do whatever you want, right? But don't freaking rate us because I said, something that you disagree with because I'm a liberal from New York.
Well, it's a good counterbalance. I
think that's what makes the show interesting. Right? You want us to agree?
You want us to all be an echo chamber,
right? We don't want to do that. Don Jeffries, the legendary. What's up, buddy?
And can subscribe to me at Substack. It's the only place I'm not shadow banned. Donald Jeffries at Substack.com. My latest one is called Gangsters of Manifest Destiny. I'll go back and show you how this Venezuelan thing is not anything at all. When you claim there's something, it's kind of like Israel claiming they're the chosen people. We claim we have exceptionalism. All I can say is we're exceptionally corrupt at this point. So people can subscribe to me there at Substack. Donald Jeffries at Substack.com. My books are everywhere, including the shelves behind me. All 10 of them are out there. You can find more than you want to know by searching for me.
All right. 100%. Thank you guys. Don, let's have you on the show too. Tony's coming on next week. We're going to talk about some stuff on Guerrilla Underground, and I want to have Don on to talk about his latest article. That'd be dope if you have time for me, Don. I'll send you a couple of dates, and you can come on and we can discuss. My name is Billy Ray Valentine. Gorilla Underground, 7 p.m. Eastern, on X and on YouTube, if you so choose. I think I'm gonna open up an Instagram page and try to promote a little bit. I'm gonna enlist Twisted to help me because I don't have time to do that shit. So Twisted's gonna do it, and I'm not gonna pay you, Twisted, unless I get my $12,000 from the government. I'll give you a little bit of that. And if we do really well on the Only Unplugged OnlyFans site, then maybe I can afford to pay people. But we're gonna do that. So make sure you check me out, man. It's gonna be a fun show tomorrow. Well, given what's going on, not so fun, but it's gonna be an interesting show. All right, and everybody have a good weekend. I can't wait for the playoffs. Somebody mentioned that in the chat, and I put it up on the screen, but I forget who you were. I'm sorry, but I am excited for the playoffs today. So I'm going to sit down and watch some of that. And then I'm going to watch 90 Day Fiancé or some more nonsense to take my mind off of what's going on. And that's perfectly fine. Go do your thing. All right. We're getting out of here. Tony, you're going to play us out?
You got it. As long as you can burn the place down.
Burn it down. All of it. Let's go.